Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is C. Miller with Sugar Publishing, and we have an incredibly talented young lady on with us today. She goes by the name of Gifted. How are you doing this afternoon, this evening, Miss Gifted?
I am wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy you came out to be with us this evening. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what you do.
Oh, wow. So I am a poet, spoken word artist. And people often ask me, what's the difference? So long story short, poet, definitely does literary pieces that are for books and more written words. Whereas a spoken word artist is a poet wrapped up in the essence of like music and hip hop and culture and kind of a whole, more expressive and usually on a stage or in 2020 virtual, but more expressive. It has more of the culture wrapped up into their pieces.
Yeah, and I can hear it in your voice. You're like, spoken word is poet wrapped up, and I'm like, she going in right now. So yeah. Hey, you want to share some poetry? You feel it? You feel it?
Oh wow!
You feeling it? Yeah, just a little piece or something. Just just give them a little snippet, so they know what you're capable of.
All right. I cannot sit quietly when there is so much to be said. My words have no edge or no boundary of who might be fed. So seeds I spread with my poetry.
Yeah, that's so dope. I love the voice. I love the inflection, the way you control the pace. Incredible. And you actually put a book of poems together, right?
I did.
Why don't you share what you got it with you?
I do. All right. So it is my 30. My 30.
My 30.
Yes.
Tell us about the name. How'd you come up with the name?
So this is in honor of National Poetry Month. The poems in this book are a collection of poems that were written each day of the month for Poetry Month.
Okay.
The prompts were provided by Kim Duwop Bolden, Cincinnati Poetry Slam. So they manage and facilitate the page and then the prompts that are given to the poets, and then you write. Yeah. So this is a collection of those poems.
Wow, that's genius. So you took all of yours and then put them together and came up with your book.
I did.
Man, you're a genius. How'd you come up with the cover? How'd you decide on the cover design?
I will be honest. So if you see this picture, I started out with that as a cover.
Okay.
It's dark. It doesn't attract attention. Okay. It doesn't, if you were to see this out somewhere, it wouldn't make you want to just grab it. Okay. So I wanted something that had vivid color. So when you self-publish through Amazon, there are a catalog of covers that you can purchase and or upload for free. Right. So, yeah. So this is one of the ones that I selected.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. What made you decide to self-publish versus going through a traditional publisher or seeking out a subsidiary company to help you get it published?
So this is not the first collection of poems that I put together for a book.
Okay.
This is what I would like to call my trial and error. And so with my first collection of poems that I'm still working on, and we can talk about that later.
Okay.
I did submit that to several publishing companies and got rejected. And then tried to submit to other publishing companies, but the cost was more significant than I thought it would be at the time. So it led me to self-publishing.
Great, great. I'm sure you learned a great deal of publishing knowledge along the way, though.
It was a journey. It continues to be a journey.
What's one of the most important lessons you remember learning about the publishing process?
Editing is important and necessary.
Yeah.
Editing. Once your book is out there, it's almost out there. You know, it's a living, breathing thing, representation of you. Yeah. So it's important to have someone other than yourself looking at that, even if it's just a friend. You know, if you can't afford, I know times are rough for everyone. And so if you can't afford traditional editing company, you know, have a friend, a trusted friend.
Right. Review
your works with a fine eye, very good.
Right. Yeah, and that's great advice. I'll even give you guys a tip. You know, break your book up in sections if you are going to go with a friend or some people that are close to you, especially if they have that eye for editing. And when you send them a section of your book, let them do the revisions, but also have them write your review on the portion that they read. So you're getting some reviews and you're getting some editing in at the same time. So, you know, that's some free game. I ain't even gonna charge y'all for that, but that's something that we all have to learn, and we learn those things as we go. What was one of the hardest parts while you were going through the process? Because everybody had them places. I have had places, every book I wrote. Well, no, especially the last one, the husband, the wife, and their God. I wanted to quit a lot of times. It got hard. And I'm sure every writer has those moments while you're putting your writing together, while you're editing. It seems like you're never gonna get everything right, everything done. What were some of those things that you ran into? What was one of the hardest places that you remember?
I would say fonts and margins.
Fonts and margins?
Yes.
Okay.
When you're self-publishing, especially through Amazon, I'm not sure with some of the other sites, but getting the margins just right so that it fits into the size that you want, the trim, and all of that, it's difficult because you have to keep going back and keep measuring and keep playing with the margins until they align just perfectly. I thought I chose traditional fonts, Times Roman, you know. Yeah. However, when I went to upload it again, I received an error. And when you receive an error through KDP or through Amazon, it won't accept your book. And so you're stuck. You're stuck until you get the appropriate font and the appropriate margins.
Yeah. It's at that point, it is frustrating when you get to that point, but you have to be thankful for it, because at least it's like a tripwire that won't let you just publish some, and then it's like, oh, why did they do this? You know, but that's why I am so excited about working with you, because the thing about, and I don't even, it's not like one of them things, you know, it's just what we do. Sugar Publishing is just, you know, that's what my mother-in-law used to call me, Sugar, and she died in January. And she was always that one, like, Carlos, you can do it. Carlos, you smart, you can do it. And so this whole publishing company, or every endeavor we got in place, is to continually remind people that you can do it. You can do it. We just have done a lot of the homework so we can help you do it and do it right. And so when you're talking about the fonts and the margins, and the formatting and different things like that, yeah, we already know all that. But the thing I'm so excited about when it comes to working with you, Ms. Gifted, because some publishing companies, that's just what they offer. They're gonna publish a book for you. But we have a design in place where we train the writers and teach the authors. So after you finish publishing your book, you go and get your name, you go and we teach you all about the business setup. So you set up your own publishing company. So now every time you're ready to publish a book, you publish your book with confidence because we taught you everything. So them things that you have to learn the hard way, get the manuscripts kicked back and all that,
Right.
you're not gonna have to worry about that no more. So yeah, I am so excited about, possibly. Yeah, I know you hadn't made the decision yet, but I know you have a project that's very important to you that you were sharing with us.
Okay.
Tell us about that project.
So the project that you and I have been discussing is my baby, the one that I was actually working on before my 30. It's called Ripples.
It's called Ripples.
Yes.
How you come up with a title for your book? How you come up with that title?
So I had several titles, and it's been 8 years, so I can't remember them all. But I will say what I did. Once I narrowed it down to 3 titles, I did a survey. I sent out a survey to my friends and family.
Okay.
And I asked them to select their favorite title or one that they thought that if they saw it in a bookstore, they would want to know more. They would want to know what was behind the cover.
Yeah. And that's one that came out on top.
Kinda.
So they voted, but you didn't listen to them.
I listened, but in my heart, I knew I did listen. I took the insight, and Ripples did get some votes. Right. Seeds. I think one of them was planting seeds and some other things. So they obviously, those are catchy. But the story of Ripples, and the more that I began to talk about it and put it out into the atmosphere, it became real. Yeah. And the reason I say Ripples is because I feel like what poetry has done to me, I hope my poetry does to others. And that is like when you drop a stone in the water, it ripples out and has the ripple. If you can just imagine, close your eyes. Yeah. And see when the waves and the ripples of the water. I got it. That's how I want my words to be when others read them and hear them on an audio or however they receive my words. I want it to be like a ripple to them, and it inspires them or become a muse for them, or it moves them in a cathartic way. So.
Man, that is so dope. That is so dope. Some people have their writing is already inside of a niche. They found their niche. You have some that write certain type books, certain genre of writing. So with poetry, how do you plan on reaching your target audience? What do you think is going to be your most effective way when it comes to reaching your target, or who essentially is going to be poetry lovers?
Right.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to be most effective for you when it comes to reaching your target audience?
I don't think there's a straight answer for that, because I think it's going to take multiple ways of reaching people. So of course, my mouthpiece, my mouthpiece in itself, doing poetry venues and speaking is a way of opening doors to, if you like that poem, check out the book. It's in the book, I actually did that at an event in Greenville, South Carolina. Okay. I did a poem, and then I was like, it's in the book, and sold a couple of books. Book fairs, those are wonderful ways that I haven't yet tapped into myself, but I've gotten some great feedback from other authors about book fairs. So, but I guess exposure, just overall exposure, and being a poet, using my mouthpiece to open up the folds of my pages is a wonderful way to sell the book, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And then certainly we'll always be right there with you and supporting you. So we're gonna get the jump on the market and then starting to, because it's important. You got a timeline. You got like a 90-day window prior to the release of the book. So that's when you want to start bombarding media with trailers, with flyers, and sending out newsletters and different things like that. So as long as we understand timelines, put your heart into developing the manuscript and pick your good cover and outline your marketing strategy, you're gonna do real good. You're gonna do real good. I'm excited just to know you and to witness all the things that you're putting in place. I know you do some speaking engagements because you're like a real advocate when it comes to this domestic violence stuff. I know you don't mind speaking out against it. Tell us some things that you got going in that vein.
So most recently, the month of October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I did a few virtual sessions with survivors of domestic violence, as well as just young women and men who have been survivors of domestic violence. Not only did I do speaking, but I also, some of my poems are written in that same vein. So I was able to share that poetry, to tell that story. And I also always like to lead with hope and give hope in my message. So even in my poetry, just making sure that people know that they're not alone and there's always hope and there is a way out. So, and then starting this month, I participated in the domestic violence walk, which is a walk of solidarity against domestic violence. And it's walking the community, more than a community. It was about three miles, but walking and sharing that awareness and sharing that solidarity with others, and then also lending my voice for those types of events as well.
I love it. I love it. There's nothing greater than serving others. And that's what you do, and you do it well. You make it look good. We appreciate you so much. When people get ready to reach out to you for speaking engagements or poetry events, to come and do features and things of that nature, before we wrap it up, would you share with them how they could get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So I'm on IG as GiftedJohnsonWilkinson. Again, that's GiftedJohnsonWilkinson, all one word, no dashes or anything.
Okay.
And then my email, I'm always available email, which is giftedpoetry@gmail.com. And then I also have a website, which is www.giftedpoetry.com.
Great. Man, I think you're awesome, Gifted, and I look forward to hearing more out of you. And anything you got going, we're going to back you, we're going to push you, we're going to support you. We're going to always say, go hard, aim higher, keep doing it, take it to the next level. If you fall, then get back up and keep going. We love you that much. You hear me?
Thank you.
Thank
Can
you.
I just add one thing?
Yeah, you could add whatever. Let us add it.
Oh, all right. One of the things that I have really enjoyed being a part of with your company is the support and the encouragement. When you're self-publishing and you're doing it on your own, it's a lonely road. And I know with me, I'm in my head, I'm running, I'm taking care of kids, I'm doing this. And I think a lot of times things fall by the wayside. But when you have someone on your team that's, rallying you on the sideline, saying, go, 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 or you can do this, or even guiding you.
Yeah.
Because so much of the marketing piece, I didn't know. My book, this book, My 30, has been out since 2019. And you would think I just published it yesterday, the way it's like on fire on the internet. But that's because of the marketing and people, word of mouth and IG and sharing and the virtuals that I've been able to take part in. And it's just taken off. The sales really, so having that support from Sugar has been amazing thus far. And so I just wanted you to know that I'm excited about the partnership. And having that partnership and having a team that is behind me, because that means the world. A lot of times you can't do it on your own, or it takes a lot longer than if you're having someone on the end of that rope pulling with
Yeah. I don't think we could ever do it alone. I couldn't do this. I humble myself. I couldn't do this without you guys. And we do have an amazing team. We have an amazing team. I count them as team, even though some of them, you know, they're going on and they calling back. They got their business names and they like, what do I do? Where do I get this? And you send them the link to get all their filing status and things like that. So they're getting set up. Sometimes it'll make you a little emotional because it's almost like they're graduating. They're moving on from you. But I would tell them that they was like, don't say that, don't say that. And I'm like, look, it's gonna be more for you.
Right.
It's always gonna be more for you. Right. And it's not, that's not our function to just have some people and like, well, you're here. Nah. We just want to prepare you to go on and do whatever it is you need to do. And anytime, because we believe in you, believe in your gift, anytime you want to publish a book, you will be able to publish a book with confidence, a quality, professionally crafted book with confidence anytime you get ready. And like I said, I humble myself because I appreciate each of you. I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate what the guys do, what everybody does for each other. Because everybody hustling, you know, the song say every day I'm hustling every day, and everybody hustling, but it is more, it leaves a greater impression when somebody takes time to remind you that they are supporting you and they are pulling for you and they are clapping for you. You get the award and you got this whole line of authors that didn't get the award. But all those authors still clapping for you. And that's something that I think that means more to me than all of the publishing stuff altogether, the relationships we build. So yeah, you'll always have a team clapping for you. You always have somebody that answers the phone when you call. And anybody out there, did you have anything else you'd like to add, Susan? Gifted, did you have anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I just wanted to make that very clear. You know,
okay.
The support has been tremendous.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a big hug. Yeah, yeah, we appreciate you. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Again, Indie Author Insights, we put it in place so that anybody that's out there, you're a writer, you're thinking about publishing, maybe coming here and listening to these videos may help you make some wise choice, some better decisions, or help you with some uncertainty or some fear you might be feeling. Like and subscribe to this channel, check back periodically, and if you need us, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We love you. Anybody on the team, you got all the gifted information, reach out to her, get her schedule, and as always, we'll see you next go round.